Well, today is one of those days when I'd been just thinking. So that's what I'm going to put on this. I was watching some of the thing, listening to some of the news stories. There's some NASA scientist back in the 1980s that first predicted the global warming. Now he's come out with a new, more intense, there's got to be something done. And I listened to some of these other things about this global warming, about the how the oceans are heating to a point that they've never been. They're all of them are so hot, and it's going to stop that northern current that causes the water to the warm water to go north in the Atlantic and then cool and sink to the bottom, the more salty, and come back down to the equator. Well, nobody ever talks about that current that there is over in the Pacific Ocean that runs all the way, comes up around the Philippines, up across the coast, past Japan, goes up through the Aleutian Islands, turns and comes along. Nobody ever talks about the Pacific Ocean coast of the United States having cool water all the time, or that Florida has got warm water, and I guess the Philippines and Japan, they've got a warm current out there. So people don't ever talk about these ocean currents until it gets down to this. Well, listening to all this talk and all this lip service and everything to all this, and that President Biden back there, he's pushing him to write a new executive order and put forth all these democratic, green, absolute necessary items and put all them big bucks in all them rich guys' pockets and put up all kinds of windmills to fall down, everything. Well, it brought me to thinking about fanatics. And I got to thinking back and reading history and remembering all the times that fanatics have caused so much trouble, you know. There was even them fanatics over there in, that Spanish Inquisition, they called it, when they were always after these witches and everything in the name of Christianity. They did all these things, killed all these people. It even got to the Salem witch trials with all them people up there. They became fanatical about the witches and all. They was dunking them in pools to see if they could float and whatever it was they were doing. Then they'd burn them. Well, I went and looked up the definition of fanatic. See, I got this old book. It's a Webster's All-in-One Dictionary and Thesaurus, 2nd edition. Well, it's a pretty good book, but some of these things I'm a little curious about, the definitions. Well, there was two. One of them is marked by excessive enthusiasm and often intense, uncritical devotion. Okay, and the other one down there, the second one, is a person who is ardently attached to a cause, object, or pursuit. A person exhibiting excessive enthusiasm and intense, uncritical devotion, usually towards some controversial matter. Well, now that makes sense to me. And when I got to thinking about that, I got to thinking about that thing about the lunar cycles and how the full moon brings things out. And there's another word, lunatic, that it brought to mind. Well, so I went and looked that up. Now that lunar thing, where'd that go? I know I was right. of or relating to the moon. That's all that means. But you get down lunatic, affected with lunacy, insane, used for insane persons, extremely foolish is a third definition. See, there's a couple of definitions here. Then you go in and there's a second definition for lunatic. A person affected with lunacy. Also, one capable of crazy actions or extravagances. Extravagances. Yeah, I was right the first time. See now? So I went in and I looked at that. You know, I'm out here watching all these people listening, paying attention and everything. I don't get too excited because, like I've told you before, I'm a religious fellow and I've got my beliefs and I've sat here over the last 20, 30 years and I've watched the sun. I used to look up at it and it looked yellow. Now when you look at the sun, it's white. And there are some scientists that have this solar, they observe the sun, they watch all them, whatever they call those things, those flashes that come off of the sun and everything. And the waves, the solar winds and all that, they're always studying that. And they've talked in some of the papers I've seen and about the change in the sun, how it's changing color. And they're talking about things that are happening now or have happened in just recent time to some of the big planets out there in our solar system. Some of the things they're seeing happen to Mars. That other little planet that's in between us, because we're the third rock from the sun. We got two that are closer to the sun, then we got a bunch that's out away further. And whatever sign this whole galaxy and everything. Well, in my religion, I know why the planets stay in their orbits and why things happen, and I know why things move through by paying attention to that. And everything, the earth is a living thing. It's got a lifespan to it. Oh, it's much more than the creation. That 7 days thing, that was just a planning stage that the gods went through. Hey, we'll do this and then that'll happen. We'll do this and that'll happen. We'll do this and that'll happen for the third day. We'll do this the fourth day. Well, that was the planning session. But the earth now, it was created long ago, millions of years. I don't know how much, but these scientists, a lot of them aren't wrong. They're pretty close, I guess. And it goes on, if you look, if you pay attention and you lose the idea that man is God, like some of these fellers, or some of these scientists and that have, some of these politicians, oh, I'm God, I can tell you exactly what to do. Well, they ain't. But anyway, pay attention. All these things, the earth has been around for a long time. I was paying attention, reading. There was no, you hear about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Well, nobody says how long Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. It might have been millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years. It might only have been a few years. But it don't matter because God lives in eternity and time don't mean nothing to him. So, but all these people are getting all these fanatical and lunatic type things going. Everything man has done, if you pay attention, I don't care, from making bows to shoot arrows, to making uh, muzzle-loading guns, to make an automatic and semi-automatic weapons, to create a nuclear bomb, an atomic bomb. Everything man does is designed to destroy himself. So he's done a good job of it. I don't know why he'd worry about all this green stuff and that, because he's not going to stop the natural course of events in the solar system, in the universe, in the galaxy, or whatever else, in the cosmos. What's going to happen is going to happen. And scientists know there have been periods of extinctions at fairly regular cycles on the face of the earth. Now, maybe man, if this is the cycle where man is destined for extinction, well, what's a couple of big tall windmills that fall over, or a bunch of solar things sitting out there for meteorites to come down and crunch up? What's all that going to matter in the scope of things? Just thinking. Well, y'all have a good day, and may God bless y'all. See you later.